The invitation sat on my kitchen counter like a ticking bomb. The Ross family Christmas dinner, December 25th, 6 p.m. My sister Summer's perfect cursive mocked me from the cream-colored paper. Of course, it wasn't actually addressed to me. I'd swiped it from my niece Sienna's Instagram story, where she'd proudly displayed the family gathering details. I'm Alyssa, the black sheep of the Ross family, and I haven't been officially invited to a family dinner in 3 years. Not since I chose to pursue my career in digital marketing instead of settling down with the nice accountant my mother had picked out for me. "You're making a mistake," Mom had said, her lips pressed into that familiar thin line. "David would have given you stability, a family. Instead, you're chasing some pipe dream. That pipe dream now has me running one of the most successful marketing firms in the city, but somehow that's never quite good enough for the Ross family standards." My phone buzzed. Speaking of family. "Hey, Summer," I answered, keeping my voice neutral. "Alyssa, I'm just calling because Sienna mentioned she saw you at the coffee shop yesterday. You know, you really should tell us when you're in the neighborhood." I rolled my eyes. "I live 15 minutes away, Summer, the same place I've been for the past 5 years. "Well, yes, but—" She paused, and I could practically hear her searching for the right words. "Mom was just saying the other day how she misses you." "Really? Is that why she told Aunt Carol I was lost to corporate greed at Thanksgiving?" "You heard about that." Summer's voice went up an octave. "She didn't mean—" "Save it," I cut her off. "We both know exactly what she meant, just like we both know I'm not invited to Christmas dinner." The silence on the other end was deafening. "Alyssa, it's complicated. You know how Mom gets, and after what happened with David—" "Stop." I gripped the counter, knuckles white. "Don't you dare bring him up again. You know what? I've got a meeting. Give Sienna my love." I hung up before she could respond, my hands shaking. 3 years of this, of being the family cautionary tale, of watching my perfect sister's perfect life plastered all over social media, of being discussed in whispers at family gatherings I wasn't welcome to attend. My phone buzzed again, this time with a text from my friend Olivia. "Lunch? You look like you need tacos." 20 minutes later, I was stress-eating guacamole while Olivia listened to my family drama. "So crash it," she said simply, stealing one of my chips. I nearly choked. "Crash Christmas dinner? Why not? Show up looking fabulous, bring an amazing date, and watch their jaws drop." Her eyes sparkled with mischief. "Make them regret ever excluding you." "That's insane," I said, but something stirred in my chest, a dangerous mix of hope and vindication. "Is it, though?" Olivia leaned forward. "You're successful, gorgeous, and you just landed the Harrison Blake account. Speaking of which—" My eyes widened as I caught her meaning. "No, no way." "Yes way. Harrison clearly adores you. Professionally speaking, of course. And he's exactly the kind of person your status-obsessed family would lose their minds over." She wasn't wrong. Harrison Blake, media mogul and one of the most influential people in the city, had specifically requested my firm for his latest venture. We'd developed a friendly rapport over the past few months, and he'd even joked about owing me a favor after I helped handle a potential PR crisis. "It would be inappropriate," I protested weakly. "It would be brilliant," Olivia countered. "Think about it. Your mother's been parading Summer and Jared's perfect marriage for years. Imagine her face when you walk in with Harrison Blake on your arm." The image was tempting, too tempting. I could already picture Mom's shocked expression, Summer's barely concealed envy, Dad's quiet reassessment of his wayward daughter. "You're being a bad influence," I told Olivia, but I was already pulling out my phone. "I'm being the best influence. Show them who you become, Alyssa. Make them see what they've been missing." I stared at Harrison's contact info on my screen, my finger hovering over the call button. 3 years of being the family disappointment, of having my choices questioned and my success diminished. Maybe it was time to change the narrative. If I do this, I said slowly, there's no going back. It'll either fix everything or burn every bridge I have left. Olivia reached across the table and squeezed my hand. Sometimes bridges need to burn for something better to be built in their place. I took a deep breath and pressed call. As the phone rang, I felt a smile spread across my face, the kind of smile that promised chaos and consequences. It was time to show the Ross family exactly what their black sheep could do. You want me to be your date to a family Christmas dinner? Harrison's amused voice filled my office. He was lounging in one of my client chairs, looking annoyingly perfect in his tailored suit. More like my secret weapon, I admitted, pacing behind my desk. Look, I know it's asking a lot. I'm in. I stopped mid-stride. Just like that? He grinned, the same charming smile that had graced countless magazine covers. Alyssa, you turned my company's image around in 3 months. The least I can do is help you shake up your family's perception of you. It might get awkward, I warned. My family isn't exactly subtle with their disapproval. Even better, I love a good drama. He leaned forward, suddenly serious. Besides, it's about time someone showed them how remarkable you are. I felt my cheeks warm. Careful there, Mr. Blake. That almost sounded like a compliment. Statement of fact. Now, tell me what I'm walking into. Over the next hour, I briefed Harrison on the Ross family dynamics. He took notes on his phone, occasionally asking questions that made me realize just how absurd my family's behavior had been. Let me get this straight, he said finally. Your sister's husband lost half their savings in a bad investment, but they're still considered the successful ones? Welcome to the twisted logic of the Ross family. I slumped in my chair. Success isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in how well you fit their mold. Well, we're about to break that mold into pieces. Harrison's eyes gleamed with determination. What time should I pick you up on Christmas? Before I could answer, my office door burst open. Olivia rushed in, waving her phone. You need to see this. She thrust the screen in my face. It was Summer's latest Instagram post, a perfectly staged photo of her family decorating their Christmas tree. The caption read, "So blessed to have our whole family together this holiday season. Dear Ross family, share traditions. Perfect Christmas." The audacity, Olivia fumed. She knows you're not invited. I felt that familiar sting of exclusion, but this time it was overshadowed by determination. Actually, this is perfect. They won't see us coming. Harrison stood up, straightening his jacket. I'll have my driver pick you up at 5:30. Wear something that makes a statement. I have just the dress, Olivia chimed in. That red one we bought last month, the one that made that startup CEO walk into a wall. I laughed despite myself. You two are dangerous together. Speaking of dangerous, Harrison pulled out his phone. Let me make a few calls. If we're doing this, we're doing it right. Over the next week, my plan evolved from simple revenge to something more elaborate. Harrison insisted on handling certain details, the vintage wine we'd bring, the car we'd arrive in, even the photographer he'd have, coincidentally, catch us leaving his charity gala the night before. Trust me, he said during our strategy lunch. By Christmas morning, your family will have already seen us in every society page that matters. Isn't that a bit much? I asked, though I couldn't hide my smile. Not at all. The best revenge isn't just showing up, it's making them realize what they've been missing all along. As Christmas approached, my confidence grew. Every time I doubted myself, I'd get a text from Harrison or a pep talk from Olivia. Even my assistant got in on it, scheduling my appointment so I could get the full spa treatment the day before. The final piece fell into place 3 days before Christmas. I was working late when Harrison appeared in my doorway holding a small box. "Early Christmas present," he said, placing it on my desk. Inside was a delicate diamond bracelet that probably cost more than my first car. "Harrison, I can't." "You can and you will. Consider it a loan for the evening?" He winked. "Besides, what's the point of having a media mogul as your date if you can't sparkle a little?" I slipped the bracelet on, watching it catch the light. "Why are you really doing this?" He was quiet for a moment. "Because 3 years ago, when everyone else passed on my rebranding proposal, you saw potential where they saw risk. You didn't care about my reputation or my connections. You cared about the work." He met my eyes. "It's time your family learned to see you the same way." I swallowed hard, touching the bracelet. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet." His smile turned mischievous. "Wait until you see what else I have planned." As he left, I looked at my reflection in the window. The woman staring back wasn't the family disappointment anymore. She was powerful, successful, and about to turn the Ross family Christmas upside down. Let them underestimate me one last time, I thought. Christmas dinner was going to be unforgettable. "Aunt Alyssa?" Sienna's voice was barely a whisper over the phone. "Are you really coming to Christmas dinner?" I paused in the middle of painting my nails. "How did you—" "I saw the photos. You and Harrison Blake at the charity gala. They're everywhere." Her excitement was contagious. "Mom's been on the phone all morning with Grandma about it." I couldn't help but smile. "What's your mom saying?" "She's freaking out, like total meltdown. She keeps saying you're trying to overshadow her holiday dinner on purpose." Sienna lowered her voice further. "Grandma's already called 3 times to change the menu. She wants to serve that fancy wine Mr. Blake is known to like." I made a mental note to thank Harrison for his PR genius. "And how do you feel about me crashing the party?" "Are you kidding? It's going to be the first interesting Christmas dinner we've had in forever." There was a rustling sound. "Oh, wait, Mom's coming. Gotta go." The line went dead and I sat back, considering this new development. I'd expected chaos, but the pre-dinner panic was an unexpected bonus. My doorbell rang and I opened it to find Olivia holding 2 garment bags and a makeup case. "Emergency pre-Christmas glam session." "The dinner's not until tomorrow," I pointed out. "Exactly. We need a trial run." She breezed past me, laying everything out on my couch. "Besides, have you seen what's trending locally? You and Harrison are the talk of the town." She pulled up several social media posts on her phone. Sure enough, the photos from the gala were everywhere. Harrison and me laughing over champagne, dancing at the charity auction, his hand resting casually on my lower back as we left. "The timing is perfect," Olivia declared. "Now try this on." The red dress was even more stunning than I remembered. It hugged every curve without being inappropriate, the color bold enough to stand out but classic enough for a family dinner. "Your mother's going to have a heart attack," Olivia said approvingly, "in the best way possible." My phone buzzed with a text from Harrison. "Your sister just tried to connect with me on LinkedIn. Should I accept?" I laughed out loud. "Desperate much, Summer?" "Oh, this is getting good." Olivia peered at my phone. "What's your mom doing to prepare for the great Harrison Blake's arrival?" "According to Sienna, she's upgrading everything. New wine, fancy menu." I stopped as another memory hit me, just like she did when David came for dinner the first time. The room went quiet. David, the perfect match my mother had chosen, the man whose proposal I turned down 3 years ago, leading to my exile from family events. "Hey," Olivia squeezed my hand, "you made the right choice. Look at you now." "I know. It's just—" I sank onto the couch. That night changed everything. The memory played out like a bad movie. David on one knee in front of my entire family, my mother's triumphant smile, Summer's eager camera ready to capture the moment, and me stepping back instead of forward, saying I can't instead of yes. You were suffocating, Olivia reminded me. David wanted you to quit your job, move to the suburbs, start having babies right away. And now I'm running my own company, making more money than he ever did, and about to show up at Christmas dinner with Harrison Blake. I stood up, straightening my shoulders. You're right. No more doubts. My phone rang again. Harrison, change of plans for tomorrow. How do you feel about making an entrance? What did you do? I may have arranged for my helicopter to land at the country club next to your parents' house around 5:45. I nearly dropped the phone. A helicopter? That's exactly what we need, Olivia cut in, grabbing the phone. Harrison, you're a genius. She'll be ready. After she hung up, I stared at her. This is getting out of hand. No, this is getting exactly where it needs to be. She started pulling out makeup brushes. Your family pushed you away because you didn't fit their narrow view of success. Tomorrow, you're going to show them what real success looks like. As she worked on my makeup, I got another text from Sienna. Grandma just ordered a new tablecloth and Mom's making Dad clean the driveway for the third time. Whatever you're planning, it's already working. I smiled at my reflection in the mirror. The woman looking back wasn't just successful, she was powerful, confident, and ready for war. Tomorrow, the Ross family would learn that their black sheep had become a force to be reckoned with. One more thing, Olivia said, holding up a pair of killer heels. These will put you exactly 2 inches taller than Summer. I slipped them on, feeling invincible. Perfect. The sound of helicopter blades cutting through the air was almost as satisfying as watching my family scramble out onto their pristine driveway. Harrison's timing was impeccable. We circled once, giving everyone a perfect view of our arrival. Ready? Harrison squeezed my hand as the helicopter descended. I nodded, heart pounding. Through the window, I could see Summer frantically smoothing her dress, while Mom clutched Dad's arm, her mouth hanging open. Several neighbors had emerged from their houses, phones raised to capture the moment. The helicopter touched down on the country club's landing pad, and Harrison helped me out, his hand steady on my lower back. The red dress caught the wind dramatically, and I silently thanked Olivia for insisting on the extra hairspray. Your sister looks like she's about to faint, Harrison whispered as we walked toward the house. He was right. Summer's perfect composure had cracked, revealing the panicked younger sister I remembered from childhood. Alyssa! Mom's voice carried across the driveway, artificially bright. What a surprise! Merry Christmas, Mom. I kissed her cheek, leaving a perfect red lipstick mark. I hope you don't mind us dropping in. Harrison stepped forward, turning on the charm that had made him famous. Mrs. Ross, thank you for having us. I've heard so much about your legendary Christmas dinners. Mom practically melted. Oh, Mr. Blake, we're honored. Please come in. As we entered the house, I caught Sienna's eye. She was trying desperately not to laugh, her phone discreetly recording everything. Behind her, her father Jared looked like he'd swallowed something sour. Alyssa? Summer's voice was strained as she air-kissed my cheek. You should have told us you were coming. We might not have enough. Oh, we brought plenty to share, Harrison interrupted smoothly, gesturing to his driver who was carrying in several bags. Some vintage wine, champagne, and a few other surprises. Dad finally found his voice. That's very generous, Mr. Blake. Please call me Harrison, and it's the least I could do. Alyssa's been instrumental in my company's success this year. The look Mom and Summer exchanged was priceless, a mixture of disbelief and dawning realization that maybe they'd underestimated me. Dinner's almost ready, Mom announced, clearly trying to regain control of the situation. Summer, help me in the kitchen? As they disappeared, Harrison turned to Dad. Mr. Ross, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the market's recent shifts. Alyssa mentioned you have quite the insight into investment trends. Dad straightened up, clearly flattered. As they moved to the living room, Sienna sidled up to me. That entrance was epic, she whispered. I've already got 10,000 views on TikTok. Sienna, Jared's sharp voice cut through our conversation. Help your mother and grandmother. I watched my niece shuffle away, noting how her shoulders slumped under her father's stern gaze. It reminded me too much of how I used to feel in this house. Everything okay? Harrison had reappeared at my side, offering me a glass of champagne. Perfect, I smiled, taking a sip, though I think Jared might be plotting your murder. Let him try. I've handled worse at board meetings. Harrison's eyes twinkled. Besides, your father just invited me to his golf club. From the kitchen came the sound of furious, whispered argument, followed by the clash of pots and pans. Summer emerged, her perfect makeup slightly smudged around the eyes. Dinner will be ready in 10 minutes, she announced tightly. Alyssa, could you help me set the table? In the dining room, Summer rounded on me. What are you playing at? Playing? I'm just joining my family for Christmas dinner. I placed a crystal glass with exaggerated care. Isn't that what you all wanted? For me to settle down with someone successful? With Harrison Blake? Please. She slammed down a plate. We all know this is just for show. He's probably paying you to... Careful, Summer. My voice was ice. You might want to check your facts before making accusations. Unlike some people's marriages, my relationships aren't based on financial arrangements. Her face went white. We both knew I was referring to her hasty wedding to Jared after his company's IPO. Everything all right in here? Harrison appeared in the doorway, his presence immediately diffusing the tension. Just perfect, I said, not breaking eye contact with Summer. We were just discussing family traditions. The doorbell rang, saving Summer from responding. Mom's voice carried from the hallway. Oh, the photographers. What a surprise. I bit back a smile, right on schedule. Harrison's PR team was nothing if not thorough. Summer's hand shook as she arranged the last place setting. You planned all of this? No, dear sister. I adjusted the diamond bracelet on my wrist. You all planned this years ago when you decided I wasn't good enough. I'm just following through. So, Harrison, Mom chirped from across the dinner table, how did you and Alyssa meet? Harrison smiled, his hand casually resting near mine. Actually, it's quite a story. I had interviewed 5 top marketing firms for my company's rebranding. All of them told me what I wanted to hear, except Alyssa. Oh? Summer's fork paused halfway to her mouth. She told me my entire approach was wrong, said my current strategy was... What was the phrase? He turned to me, eyes twinkling. Outdated and painfully out of touch, I supplied, taking a sip of wine. That's right. She turned down a multi-million-dollar contract because she didn't believe in the direction I wanted to take. Mom nearly choked on her wine. You did what? And she was absolutely right, Harrison continued. The strategy she proposed instead doubled our market value in 3 months. Dad leaned forward, suddenly interested. That's impressive, Alyssa. Why didn't you tell us? I did, I said quietly. At Easter 2 years ago, right before you all left to celebrate Summer's new pool house. An uncomfortable silence fell over the table. Jared cleared his throat. Speaking of business ventures, Harrison, I've been working on an investment opportunity that might interest you. Not now, dear, Summer cut him off sharply. The tension between them was palpable. Actually, Sienna piped up, Aunt Alyssa was just featured in Business Weekly. I did my school report on her company's growth strategy. You did? I turned to my niece, genuinely surprised. Yeah, we had to pick a successful business leader to profile. My teacher said it was the best presentation in class. Sienna beamed. That's enough, Sienna, Summer snapped. We're not here to discuss business. Why not? Harrison challenged. Alyssa's achievements are remarkable. Did you know she was named one of the top 30 under 35 entrepreneurs last month? Mom's silverware clattered against her plate. Well, that's nice. But surely you must be thinking about settling down soon, Alyssa. Your biological clock is none of your concern, I interrupted. Just like my career choices weren't your concern when you tried to pressure me into quitting to marry David. David was a good man, Mom protested. He could have given you stability. David, I said evenly, wanted me to be a trophy wife. When I refused to quit my job, he told me no husband would want a wife more successful than him. Harrison's hand found mine under the table, squeezing gently. Well, Summer interjected, not everyone can have a whirlwind romance with a media mogul. Some of us prefer traditional relationships. Traditional? I laughed. Is that what we're calling your rushed wedding after Jared's IPO? The color drained from Summer's face. Jared's jaw clenched. Alyssa, Dad warned, but I was done holding back. No, let's talk about traditions. Like the tradition of ignoring my accomplishments because they don't fit your narrow view of success, or the tradition of excluding me from family events because I chose my career over your approved life plan. That's not fair, Mom protested. We only wanted what was best for you. Best for me? I stood up, my chair scraping back. Was it best for me when you told all our relatives I was having a breakdown because I refused David's proposal? Or when you excluded me from Dad's birthday because my lifestyle choices might upset Aunt Martha? I think, Harrison said smoothly, standing beside me, what Alyssa is trying to say is that success comes in many forms. And from where I'm standing, she's achieved something remarkable, not despite choosing her own path, but because of it. Sienna was nodding enthusiastically. That's what I wrote in my report, how Aunt Alyssa revolutionized digital marketing by challenging traditional approaches. Enough. Summer slammed her hand on the table. This dinner was perfect until you showed up to ruin it, just like you ruin everything. The room fell silent. Even Mom looked shocked at Summer's outburst. Perfect? I picked up my wine glass, swirling the red liquid slowly. Like, your perfect marriage? Should we discuss the real reason Jared's been sleeping in the pool house for the past month? Summer's face went from red to white. Jared suddenly became very interested in his plate. How did you? Summer whispered. I'm in marketing, dear sister. Information is my business. I took a deliberate sip. Just like I know about the money Jared lost in that tech startup, the one he invested in against your wishes. Alyssa, Harrison murmured, a gentle warning in his voice. I caught my reflection in the window, poised, powerful, in control. This wasn't just revenge anymore. This was years of suppressed truth finally breaking free. No, I said clearly. I think it's time we all stop pretending. Don't you? The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the soft click of Sienna's phone camera, still documenting every moment of this unraveling Christmas dinner. How dare you? Summer's voice shook. How dare you come into my home and— Your home? Jared cut in. The home you mortgaged without telling me to cover my investment losses? Mom's fork clattered to her plate. Summer, what is he talking about? Nothing. Summer stood up so quickly her wine glass toppled, spreading red across the pristine white tablecloth. This is all Alyssa's fault. She's trying to destroy everything, just like always. I'm not destroying anything, I said calmly. I'm just holding up a mirror. A mirror? Summer laughed hysterically. You show up in a helicopter with Harrison Blake, wearing diamonds that probably cost more than my car, and you talk about mirrors? At least she earned it herself, Sienna muttered. Go to your room, Summer snapped at her daughter. No. Sienna stood her ground, surprising everyone. I'm tired of pretending. We're all tired of pretending. Harrison cleared his throat. Perhaps we should. You stay out of this, Jared pointed at him. You think we don't know what this is? Some publicity stunt with my sister-in-law? Careful. Harrison's voice turned cold. That's not a road you want to go down, considering your own publicity issues. What publicity issues? Dad asked sharply. I watched Jared's face pale. He's referring to the SEC investigation that's about to be announced. Isn't that right, Jared? The room erupted. Mom was demanding explanations. Summer was crying, and Jared looked ready to leap across the table at me. Enough! Dad's voice boomed, silencing everyone. In 32 years, I'd never heard him shout. Everybody sit down, now. We all sank back into our chairs, even Harrison looking somewhat chastened. Alyssa, Dad turned to me, you came here to prove a point. Consider it proved. Summer, your sister's success isn't an attack on you. And Jared, Dad's eyes narrowed. We'll discuss the SEC matter privately. Ellis, Mom tried to interject, but Dad held up his hand. No, Monica, we've done enough damage. He looked around the table. For years we've pretended to be the perfect family. We pushed Alyssa away because she showed us what we didn't want to see, that our perfect image was just that, an image. Dad, Summer whispered, mascara streaking her cheeks. Let me finish. He turned back to me. I'm sorry, Alyssa. I'm sorry I didn't stand up for you when you turned down David. I'm sorry I let your mother's dreams overshadow your own. And I'm sorry it took you arriving in a helicopter with a media mogul for me to say this. The silence that followed was heavy with years of unspoken truths. Well, Harrison said finally, I think this calls for that special bottle I brought. He nodded to his driver, who'd been quietly standing by with an ornate wooden box. Is that? Mom's eyes widened as Harrison opened the box. A 1982 Bordeaux. I thought we could use something exceptional tonight. He started pouring. To new beginnings? To truth, I corrected, raising my glass. To family, Dad added. The real kind, not the pretend version. Summer dabbed at her eyes. Alyssa, I've been jealous of your freedom, your success, everything you've built. You could build something too, I said softly. It's not too late. Actually, Sienna piped up, Mom's been taking online business classes. I saw the certificates on her laptop. Summer shot her daughter a look that was half embarrassment, half pride. Really? I leaned forward. What kind of business? Event planning, she admitted. I've always been good at organizing things, and with Jared's situation, I thought I should have a backup plan. Summer, Mom started, but Dad cut her off. That's wonderful, sweetheart. Both my daughters, businesswomen. Harrison raised his glass again. To the Ross women, breaking molds and taking names. Speaking of taking names, Jared stood up abruptly. I should go. My lawyer's waiting for a call. No one tried to stop him as he left. Summer watched him go, then turned to me. How long have you known about the investigation? Long enough to make sure your name wasn't connected to any of his dealings, I said. I had my legal team look into it when we heard rumors. Fresh tears spilled down her cheeks. You protected me, even after everything? You're still my sister. I reached across the table and squeezed her hand, even when you're being a perfect pain in the ass. For the first time that evening, genuine laughter echoed through the dining room. As Harrison poured more wine and Sienna showed Dad how many views her videos had gotten, I caught Mom watching me with a strange expression. "What?" I asked. She shook her head slowly. "I just never realized. You didn't need saving, did you? You were the one doing the saving all along." After dinner, we migrated to the living room, the atmosphere shifting from explosive to something more tentatively peaceful. Harrison was charming Mom with stories about his latest charity projects, while Dad and Summer huddled over her laptop, looking at business course options. "Aunt Alyssa?" Sienna appeared at my elbow. "Can we talk? Outside?" The December air was crisp as we settled on the porch swing. Sienna pulled her knees up to her chest, looking younger than her 15 years. "So," she said, "those videos I posted, they've gone viral, like really viral." I checked my phone and whistled at the view count. "That's impressive." "Yeah, and I've gotten all these messages from girls saying how inspiring it is to see someone stand up to family pressure." She twisted a strand of hair nervously, which made me think about what I want to tell you. "I'm listening." "Mom and Dad, they have this whole plan for me. Pre-law at their alma mater, then law school, then joining Dad's firm." She took a deep breath. "But I want to study digital media and marketing, like you." The porch door creaked open before I could respond. Summer stood there wrapped in a cashmere shawl. "You want to study marketing?" Her voice was quiet. Sienna jumped. "Mom, I was going to tell you." "How long have you been thinking about this?" "Since I did that project on Aunt Alyssa's company." Sienna's voice grew stronger. "I'm really good at it, Mom. My TikTok analytics are better than most professionals." Summer sat down on Sienna's other side. "I know. I've seen your numbers." "You have?" "I might have been studying them for my business plan." Summer looked at me. "I thought maybe if I started an event planning company, having a strong social media presence would be important." "It would be crucial," I confirmed. "You need someone who really understands digital marketing." "Someone young, maybe, with fresh perspectives?" Summer nudged Sienna gently. Sienna's eyes lit up. "Really? You'd let me help?" "Let you?" Summer laughed. "Honey, I'd hire you, assuming your aunt doesn't steal you away first." The porch door opened again, this time revealing Harrison and Mom. "Sorry to interrupt," Harrison said, "but I couldn't help overhearing. Summer, if you're serious about starting your own business, I might know some people who could help." "Oh, we couldn't impose," Summer started. "It's not an imposition, it's networking." He winked at me. "That's how business really works, right, Alyssa?" "Right," I agreed. "And speaking of networking," I turned to Sienna. "How would you like to intern at my firm next summer? Get some real experience?" "Are you serious?" Sienna squealed. "On one condition," I held up a finger. "You have to keep your grades up and you have to be honest with your parents about what you want." "I think," Mom said suddenly, "that sounds wonderful." She sat down next to Summer. "I've been doing some thinking about how much energy I've spent trying to make everyone fit into the same box." "Mom?" Summer reached for her hand. "No, let me finish. Looking at you girls tonight. Alyssa with her company, Summer planning her business, Sienna with her digital skills. I was wrong. Success doesn't look just one way." Harrison cleared his throat. "I should give you ladies some privacy." "Stay," I said, surprising myself. "You're part of this story now." He smiled, leaning against the porch railing. "Speaking of stories, Sienna, those videos you posted, my PR team is impressed. They're asking if you'd be interested in consulting on our youth engagement strategy." Sienna's jaw dropped. Summer laughed. "See? My daughter, the marketing prodigy." "Must run in the family," Harrison said, his eyes meeting mine. The moment was interrupted by Dad joining us carrying a tray of hot chocolate. Thought we could use something sweet. It's been quite a night. It's been quite a lesson, Mom corrected, about family and success, and she looked at me apologetically, letting go of control. I accepted a mug of hot chocolate, the warmth spreading through my hands. You know what's funny? I came here tonight wanting revenge, wanting to show you all what you missed out on. And instead, Harrison prompted, instead I found out what I'd been missing too, the chance to be honest, to stop proving myself and just be. Sienna pulled out her phone one last time. One more video for the family archive? We huddled together, steam rising from our mugs, Christmas lights twinkling above us. As Sienna counted down, I looked at these faces I'd spent so long trying to impress or defy, Mom finally seeing me clearly, Summer ready to forge her own path, Sienna brave enough to speak her truth. Say Merry Christmas, Sienna directed, and there on the porch where I'd once felt so excluded, we laughed and smiled for the camera, a family redefined by truth, acceptance, and the courage to change. As midnight approached, Harrison's driver pulled up to take us home. The family gathered in the driveway, so different from the tense greeting hours earlier. You could stay, Mom offered. Your old room is still... Next time, I promised, surprising myself by meaning it. But first, I think we all need to process tonight. Summer stepped forward, hugging me tightly. Thank you, she whispered, for protecting me from Jared's mess, for seeing the truth before I could. That's what big sisters do, I said, even when they're the family disappointment. Never again, Dad said firmly. No more labels, no more expectations, just family. Sienna bounced over, phone in hand. The final video hit 1 million views, and Harrison's PR team already emailed me about that consulting gig. Speaking of which, Harrison pulled an envelope from his jacket. Sienna, this is a formal offer for a paid internship next summer, joint program between Alyssa's firm and mine. Mom started to speak, then visibly stopped herself. Instead, she smiled. That's wonderful, sweetheart. We'll review the details together. And this, Harrison produced another envelope, is for you, Summer. Some contacts to help with your event planning venture, including 3 potential clients who'd be interested in working with you. Summer's hand shook as she took the envelope. I don't know what to say. Say you'll stop trying to be perfect, I suggested. It's exhausting, trust me. Trust you? She laughed wetly. I do, finally. Dad cleared his throat. Harrison, about that golf club membership, already arranged, Harrison smiled. Though I should warn you, I'm terrible at golf. Good, Dad grinned. So am I. We can be terrible together. As everyone said their goodbyes, Mom pulled me aside. Alyssa, wait. She pressed something into my hand, a small, worn photo album. Inside was a collection of newspaper clippings and magazine articles about my career, my company's successes, every achievement I thought they'd ignored. I kept them all, Mom said softly. Even when I was too proud to admit I was wrong, I was watching. I was proud. Mom, let me finish. Tonight, watching you with Harrison, with Summer and Sienna, I realized something. You didn't need a man to complete you. You needed us to complete you, and we failed. We all failed each other, I said, but we're fixing it now. Harrison appeared at my side. Ready to go? Almost. I turned back to Mom. Christmas dinner next week. I'll host this time. You cook now, too? Summer teased. God, no. I hire amazing caterers. Another perk of being a successful businesswoman. Everyone laughed, and the sound was healing, real. In the car, Harrison loosened his tie. Mission accomplished? Not exactly as planned, I admitted. I thought revenge would feel different. Better or worse? Better, much better. I looked at the photo album in my lap. though I have to ask, was any of this real for you, or just an elaborate favor? Harrison was quiet for a moment. You know what I realized tonight, watching you with your family? That you're exactly what I've been looking for in a business partner. Partner? I'm expanding the media division, looking for someone who understands both traditional and digital spaces, someone who isn't afraid to tell me when I'm wrong. I raised an eyebrow. Are you offering me a job or a relationship? Neither. Both. Whatever you want it to be. He smiled. No expectations, no labels, just possibilities. My phone buzzed. A group text from Summer. Family brunch tomorrow. Mom's making her famous waffles. Harrison's invited too, obviously. Another text followed from Sienna. Bring your marketing brain. Mom and I need help with our business plan. Also, that video of Harrison telling off Dad's snobby golf friends is trending. And finally, from Mom, thank you for coming home, for helping us see what really matters. Love you, sweetheart. I showed the messages to Harrison. Still want to get involved with this chaos? Absolutely. He took my hand. Though next time, maybe we skip the helicopter. Deal. I squeezed his hand, feeling the last pieces of my old anger and hurt dissolve. You know what's funny? I came to this dinner planning to show them how much I didn't need their approval. And instead I found out we all needed each other, just not in the way we thought. The car turned onto my street as fresh snow began to fall. In my pocket, the diamond bracelet Harrison had loaned me felt warm against my wrist, but it wasn't the diamonds that made me feel valuable anymore. It was the truth we'd uncovered, the bridges we'd rebuilt, and the future we'd started to create, together, imperfect, real. Merry Christmas, Alyssa, Harrison said softly. Merry Christmas, I replied finally, truly meaning it.